Welcome to Intellectual Chocolate. Welcome to Intellectual Chocolate, which is our podcast where we talk about all the stuff that Black people should be talking about. We talk without fear. We talk without ignorance, even though it's okay to be a little, as the term I've heard, I think Angela Rye used this term, sophisti-ratchet. It's okay to be a little bit ratchet as long as you're ratchet for a good cause, as long as it's for a good reason. And actually, speaking of Angela Rye, who I actually, by the way, I have nothing negative to say about Angela Rye at this point. My official statement is that I've kind of buried my concerns about her from the past, and I don't want to spend any time sort of sitting around talking bad about nobody. I'm gonna actually see Angela this week. Her boyfriend Common and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, actually, they're part of this thing at UCLA, and I'm one of the invited speakers as well. I don't know if you can get tickets. If you're in Los Angeles, it'll be tomorrow, which is the 6th of January, in case you're watching this late. But it'll be January 6th. It starts in the morning, and I don't know. I think it might be sold out. But you can try to see if there's any space available. You can actually learn more by visiting drboycelosAngeles.com. That's drboycelosAngeles.com. And we're actually trying to sort of secure a deal with UCLA where I'm actually going to do some stuff there on a monthly basis. And I kind of look forward to that. I actually like talking to college students a lot. I could talk I can talk to college students for about 10 minutes and literally say things that'll change their lives forever. Like I'm good at that because I've taught college students for the last 25 years. So I kind of know a lot of the things that they need to know. And the only problem though is that I'm a little bit too raw, a little bit too honest in terms of what I think about things. And so what happens is, I get in trouble for for saying things that are not politically correct. But I kind of believe that people need to hear the truth. I kind of think that young people especially, they kind of really need to hear from grownups that are going to help them sort out, the nonsense. I would say the bullshit, but I'm not cussing today, so I won't call it the bullshit. I'll just call it the nonsense. That's kind of what they need. I think they need honest advice. I mean, the people that really saved me were people like my daddy, who would come in and cuss me out in a minute if I got out of pocket, if I was speaking, or ignorantly, if I was getting myself into situations with friends that were going to get me in trouble, if I was misrepresenting the family in an ignorant way, if I was messing around with a stupid girl, if I was doing things that are going to ruin my life, my father would jump in and just get raw with me. My daddy didn't play that. He wasn't a guy that minced words. He just really literally came at me real and raw. And I like that, I respect that, I mean, man, that was good for me. I needed that because that's the thing. That's what, sometimes young guys, young brothers they ain't gonna listen to you if if you come in all fluffy and shit. They're not hearing that because the world ain't fluffy. Life ain't fluffy. Life is real. Life is honest. And if you don't, if you come, if you're not ready for it, then it can blow you away. Like, life is not going to care about hurting your feelings. Life and reality are going to smack you in your face and kick you upside your head and bust you in your jaw. And then you'll wake up, wondering like, well, why did nobody tell me about this? That's why I'm not a fan of this powder puff parenting that we have. I'm not a fan of this crap where everybody on the football team gets a trophy, even the fat kid who never came to practice. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe everybody wins first place. I believe that you live in a world that is built on competition. And that's the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom, competition is not something I invented. It's not something I sort of came up with or that I'm promoting. This is something Mother Nature created. Competition means you get to survive. If you can't compete, then you don't survive. You've ceased to exist. You will die. Your gene pool will not live on if you cannot properly compete. The males in the wilderness, they compete for the chance to mate with that woman. If you can't kill the other giraffe, then that first giraffe is going to go and he's going to get the women and he's going to get the land. The lions will kill each other in order to have the chance to mate and reproduce and protect their kids. So at the end of the day, I think anybody who tries to socially engineer you into believing that the world is supposed to be different from that is somebody that's setting you up for embarrassment and humiliation. and eventual annihilation. That's how you kill somebody. That's how you commit genocide. Genocide is easy to do if you just put the victim to sleep. If you put the victim to sleep, then it's very easy to just literally wipe them off the face of the earth. So black folks, unfortunately, often y'all are put to sleep. You're put to sleep by some of this weak stuff that our young people are getting. And I feel bad for them because a lot of them are graduating, with college degrees and don't understand, well, why can't I get a job? And then what you're taught to do is you're not taught to actually do anything about it. You're taught to whine about it. Well, I got 100,000 in student loans and I have the same degree as the white boy and he got the better job than me. And the white male makes 40% more than the average black male, and a white man with a GED gets better job offers than a black man with a college degree, and it's wrong. Black lives matter. That's what you're taught to do. You're taught to whine and cry about it. I wasn't taught to do that. Let me just show you guys. Like I found this picture on Instagram. I'm gonna be Instagram flexing for about 30 seconds and show you guys a picture of when I was little. Now I want y'all to look at this picture right now. Everybody who's on Instagram, I'm gonna flip the screen so you guys can kind of see what I'm showing my friends on Facebook and everything. Let me hit I always hit the wrong button. Here we go. This is a picture of me back when I was about probably 4 years old. And I was kicking it with my daddy and my daddy's friends. I think we were probably on an army base. I was definitely, I don't even think I was in kindergarten then. I'm gonna tell you how real it was with my parents. I used to walk to school in kindergarten. I walked to school in kindergarten and I had a white boy who was like 8 years old, which at 5, an 8-year-old is like a grown ass man in your mind, right? And this white boy used to beat me up every day on my way to kindergarten. And anyway, I remember I went to my daddy and I said, I told my daddy what was going on. I was looking for some help. I was like, Black Lives Matter. I'm getting beat up. What am I going to do? And my daddy said, here's what you do. You get you a brick and you put it upside that motherfucker's head. Seriously, I'm sorry, I'm cussing. I keep telling myself that I'm never going to cuss, but if I promise you I'll never cuss again, I really will be lying to you. I'll be a hypocrite. So I'm not going to cuss that much though. And if I cuss, it'll be for a good reason. I will properly pace my profanity to ensure that it is utilized only to accentuate an important point and to help us elevate the conversation. Is that okay? Can we agree on that? All right. Okay. Somebody said, "Do you, Doc?" All right. Thanks, Black Ghost. I appreciate it. I needed that boost of comfort. And anyway, so let me keep going. So anyway, so check it. So my daddy told me to get a brick and put it upside that boy's head. So I said, all right. So I'm gonna go. I got me a brick, and I went to school with a brick in my hand. And that little 8-year-old boy tried to roll up and bully me, and I busted him upside his head. And you know what happened? The whole script flipped at that point. Next thing you know, his parents showed up at my parents' house, at our house, saying, your son hit our son in the head with a brick. Now, I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying you should do this with your children. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the kind of borderline screwed up environment that I grew up in, but it really prepared me for the realities of life. It prepared me for the reality that no matter how much you whine and you cry, Black people, ain't nobody gonna care. Ain't nobody gonna care. It also taught me that life ain't beautiful, cute, and cozy like we want to believe. It ain't what you think. It ain't what, people tell you, oh, everything's supposed to be wonderful and we're supposed to have equality and everyone's supposed to treat each other fairly all the time. And that just ain't how life works, man. It ain't how life works. So anyway, the kids' parents were like, your son did this to my son and blah, blah, blah. And I'm glad I give my daddy props. My daddy stood up for me. He said, no, he said, your son has been bullying my son for a long time. And he took matters into his own hands. So if your son don't want another brick upside his head, you advise your child not to mess with my child on his way to school. After that, the little white boy never messed with me again. And so anyway, so the thing was, I was never a person that wanted to bully anybody. I've never believed in that. It's always wrong. But I've always known that you may not go looking for a fight, but sometimes somebody picks a fight with you. And if your first reaction is to curl up into a ball and get scared, then all you're going to do is you're going to make the abuse worse. The Black community for 400 years has been trained to curl up into a ball and cry every time somebody picks on us, and it does not work. It only makes them kick you harder. So this is the old school picture. As you can see in the background, Let me show my Instagram friends again this picture. I think it's kind of cool. I found it somewhere. I don't know where I found it, but you look, see here, like, so you got, I don't know, my daddy ain't in this picture. I guess he must be on the other side playing cards. And you see they got like a Colt 45 on the table. You know, they probably smoking some weed. You know, like this is like the environment I kind of was growing up in as a kid. It reminds me of like the beginning scene on Menace to Society when little boys like sitting there with the dudes that OGs are like give him like a sip of beer when he's like 3 years old. Fortunately, my daddy didn't do stuff like that. But I grew up around men. You know, I grew up around, you know, men that, you know, these were military men. These were black men. You know, some of the men had issues, you know, whether it might have been drugs, might have been alcohol, might have been violence, might have been, you know, something else. But at the same time, it taught me, you know, how to deal with men like that. So I've never been afraid of that. I know, you know, I can see right through a bully or a punk or somebody who's just running their mouth. But at the same time, it also prepared me. It gave me a foundation to become a better man. You know, like I don't touch liquor. I don't mess with liquor at all because I've seen what liquor does to black men. You know, I think a lot of people, I think the reason that you see so many white kids getting hooked on heroin and opioids now is because they never saw what dope does to a community. They've never seen how badly your whole community, your whole family can be ruined from a drug addiction. They've never really seen that. So I think that they think that it's fun and it's cool. It's like party dudes, you know, whatever. And next thing you know, you sitting up in rehab or you sitting there and you ain't got no money and you're about to die and your teeth are falling out because you thought the meth and the opioids were fun. You thought the content was just something to help you relax, and you realize that this stuff is real. Like this is real life stuff, you know. So I want to encourage everybody to just really be intelligent and thoughtful about, you know, how you proceed with life. And I really encourage you. You know, I know some people think I'm a little bit too raw in terms of how I communicate. You know, and I wish I could turn the cussing off, but sometimes I just can't because I just heard it so much as a kid. But I want you to just kind of consider the idea that your child is not better off when you raise them in a powder puff environment. This is especially true for your boys. You know, if your son is raised in an environment where it's love, peace, and Afro grease all the time, then what's going to happen is he's going to run into like, you know, men who were not raised that way, and they're going to basically clown him. They're going to basically bully him, punk him, make fun of him, you know, whatever. And it's not going to work out well for him. So just prepare your children for something, you know, something better in life. I'm sitting there looking, I'm going through my phone and I see something where they got this kid who's a football prodigy and they're showing all these drills and training that he's doing at the age of 9, and he's going to be this great football player. And, and it kind of makes me sad because I kind of feel like we have enough black men that are football players and rappers. I kind of feel like we need just as many intellects. Like for every football player we produce, we should produce one computer scientist. How about that? For every rapper we produce, how about we produce one entrepreneur? You know, whatever it is, you know, for every thug that we produce, every thug nigga that we produce, you know, whatever it is, how about we produce one doctor or lawyer or whatever, you know, for every guy that we raise that thinks it's cool to go to prison, how about we raise a couple of guys that think it's cool to be, you know, the champion in the math bee or the spelling bee, right? Like, how about we do that? Right? How about we diversify a little bit? Because I kind of think right now we overcommit to a lot of the wrong dreams. We end up in a lot of the worst situations, primarily because, hold on, give me a second. I'm looking for something here. Primarily because we just don't understand, you know, where this ends. And I don't think that we're honest enough with our young people about sort of thinking through your life choices. Like, for example, even the choice to go to college should not be automatic. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means it shouldn't be automatic. Now, what does that mean? Well, not automatic just kind of means, you know, think it through, you know, just kind of process like, okay, I'm going to invest 4 years or 8 years or whatever going to school. How is this going to work? How am I going to fund it? How am I going to pay back the debt that I am going to incur as a result of this? At the end of the rainbow, how much, you know, is the average income of people in this profession? And is that high enough for us to be able to be, to pay back this debt? You know, because what's happened is a lot of college students are actually going to die in debt. A lot of them are going to die in debt for the reasons that they, you know, for doing what they thought was going to make their lives better. They thought that going to school was going to make their lives better, and actually going to school makes their lives worse, their economic life anyway, because they end up with so much debt that they never, ever get out of it. So what I would encourage you to do is just kind of be honest with them, expose them to reality, Maybe you bring them into one of my cussing podcasts and just kind of be like, well, you know what, son, I know you hear profanity at school anyway, so you might as well hear it used in a constructive sense, whatever it is, bring them, put them in situations. One thing my daddy used to do, for example, was he would actually take me out. My daddy was a cop, and he was a street dude before he became a cop. So he communicated well with the brothers on the street. So my daddy would take me out, and he would show me like a wino or a drug addict, and he would say, you see that guy over there, and he would say, that's what drugs will do to you. And my daddy knows that because my daddy confessed to me publicly. He said it publicly, so I can repeat it. He said that when he was 19, he had a heroin addiction. When he came back from Vietnam, a lot of black men did, and he just chose to walk away from that. He said that wasn't the life that I wanted to have, so he didn't mess with it. And he had a lot of friends fall off from drug addictions, from alcohol, etc. And he said, I didn't want to be a part of that. So some friends I had to cut off. So some of y'all are the same way. Some of y'all, especially the men in here, some of y'all are going to have to cut your friends off. Some of you got friends that are addicted to all kinds of things that are going to be destructive, whether it's sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, or I'm talking about sex itself. I'm talking about irresponsible sex. Like, I'm going to go out and make 10 babies that I can't afford to take care of, or I'm going to go and have sex with a new girl every week to the point where I got every disease in the book, or whatever it is, or I'm going to go out here and I'm going to put ass over cash, like Ice Cube used to say, and end up in a scenario where my whole life is falling apart because I can't stop chasing women or whatever it is. And I think there's a point where you have to get on kind of your grown man shit. For black men, Jay-Z went through that. Like, Jay-Z used to be a pure rapper where he would just, he was 35 years old, 30 years old, whatever he was, wearing these football jerseys or whatever. He was bringing these throwback jerseys back, and that was cool. But eventually Jay-Z woke up and said, I don't want to wear jerseys anymore. I'm not a child. I'm not a teenager. Like, teenagers should be wearing jerseys, not 40-year-old men. So Jay-Z started wearing coats, suits, and ties. So a lot of people said, oh man, you ain't keeping it real no more. You keeping it fake. But why is it fake for Jay-Z to be a grown-ass man? Why is it fake for him to be a businessman? Why is it fake for him to be an intelligent man? It ain't fake. If anything is fake, thuggery is fake. Most of these damn studio gangsters ain't really gangsters. Most of these, movie script thugs, who get in a movie and act like they the most gangster Negro on the planet. When you look at their real life, their kids are going to private school. Seriously, I think it was, who was it? I think even Jeezy, young Jeezy. I'm not talking about Jeezy himself. I know people that know him, so this ain't a diss on Jeezy. But I saw an interesting picture where Jeezy's son was graduating from college. I'm like, well, thug niggas don't go to college. Like, well, if you so proud of being a thug and representing the dope dealers and all this stuff, why isn't your son slanging like you? If that's the lifestyle that you think is cool for everybody else, give that to your child. But you'll find that they don't do that. Bob Johnson, who put all that crazy stuff on BET back in the day, he wasn't raising his kids around that. I think it was a rapper 50 Cent even did an interview where they said, do you let your kids listen to that music? And he said, oh no. But everybody else's kids are listening to it. Now, of course, it's up to the parents to keep their child from hearing these messages. We've heard all that before, and that's true, right? But sometimes the problem is this: a lot of these kids ain't got no parents. Or you go to Chicago, some of these kids got parents where their mama was 15 years old when they were born. Like, so you're literally talking about two children in a house where one child just happens to be older than the other one. And so they don't even know better. They don't even understand like things like the signs. I saw a poor lady, it made me so mad and sad at the same time. This poor lady on the south side of Chicago who could not even identify the fact that both of her daughters had been molested. But she would date all these guys fresh out of jail and bring these guys in the house. Second date, these guys are spending the night in her house watching her children, her daughters, and her daughters were showing textbook symptoms of being sexually abused. And we tried to confront her on this, and she was like, well, get the hell out of my business. So you got some kids out here with really bad parents. And so while part of us have to acknowledge that a child is going to just be a victim or a beneficiary of whatever the level of wisdom that their parents have. Some children are just going to be in a bad situation because they have horrible parents and there's nothing we can do about it. At the same time, you have to also understand that the village has to step in and kind of say, well, I know your mother wasn't a good mother or your father wasn't a good father, but we're going to be better parents for you. We're going to do our role and take our responsibility to make sure that just because you have a parent that's going to allow you at the age of 7 to listen to gangster rap and hoochie mama lyrics, we're going to protect you from some of that. Right. It's like if just because you have a parent who's dumb enough to let their daughter get molested, that doesn't mean that it's okay for you to come in and molest them. So just because you got parents that are okay with letting their kids be exposed to messages and imagery that are going to destroy them, that doesn't make it okay for you to do it. Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or whatever the gangster rappers might be out there, Young Thug, all this, just because you got parents out here that will allow their children to be exposed to drug addiction, the rapper Future, that doesn't mean you should be promoting it, right? So at the end of the day, it really comes down to values, and the question becomes, do you care about the Black community? If you don't care about the Black community, then none of this matters to you. You probably would tune out because this isn't of interest or whatever. But if you care, then you're going to think about this. But again, sometimes intelligent messages pass right over the heads of unintelligent people. So I kind of expect that the vast majority of people are going to look at me and think I'm crazy for even saying this. So it is what it is. Let me remind you guys, by the way, real quick, let's on Facebook, do the city shout out. I'd like to see what city everybody's from. I see Shayla's in here and Tanisha Jefferson. She said, I can't believe how many professions people went to receive degrees are completely obsolete now. I agree. It's scary. It's scary. I think y'all need, if you work at a university or you got children going to college, you need to get your kids in situations where they're going to get some real knowledge and real information. Universities have only one incentive. That is to get your child enrolled in school so they can get that money, so they can get that $50,000 a year or whatever. You need some people that are going to talk to them, that are going to tell them the real deal and what the real world is like what real employers look for. Apple, Google, and Intel and other companies got together and literally created their own online university. I forgot what it's called, but literally they said we need to educate students our way because what they're learning in college is not preparing them to get jobs here. So what they do is they educate them, then they give you a job at Intel or Apple, and you get pushed ahead of the line of college graduates who spent $200,000 on their degree. You might have spent $3,000, but you have the right skill. They spent $200,000, and all they know how to do is hold a step show. Whatever it is, right? They that's all they know how to do. And I'm sorry, barking and ski-weeing is not going to get you no job. But I literally have seen college students that will spend more time on a step show than they spend on a biology test. And if that ain't a losing strategy right there, I don't know what is. Anyway, okay, I see Novell says he's from Michigan. Regina says St. Louis in the house. We'll come to St. Louis in February. Steve Bradley, Los Angeles. I'll be in LA tomorrow doing that thing with Common and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at UCLA. You can go to drboycelosangeles.com to learn more. Let's see here. I see Mark from Fresno. Sean says some values are taught. I agree with you. Krista says hello from Chicago, my city, Chi-Town. God bless you. Nathaniel from Rock Hill, South Carolina. My homeboy Courtney that I knew back at Ohio State is in Rock Hill. If you know a brother named Courtney who's about 6'1", tell him to call me because I lost his number and I love that guy. I respected that guy so much. He was awesome. Tiffany from Dallas. I love Dallas. We're coming to Dallas. Rosalind from Mebane, North Carolina. Never heard of it, but it sounds like a great city. Aristocracy from Atlanta. Chauncey from Thompson, Georgia. Novell says college is a business. Absolutely. Joshua says, peace, brother, Chicago and the Nation of Islam tuning in. That's what I'm talking about. God bless the Nation of Islam. Only group of real men in the world. These are literally the realest group of black men anywhere. I'm sorry. You say what you want, be critical, you critique what you want, and it's okay. Maybe some of the criticisms are valid, but I'm going to tell you what, Nation of Islam is the only place I know of anywhere that I see that creates real men. Real men who can build a real community, who can create institutions, who can think for themselves, who are the ones who will get on the front lines, who will take a bullet for black people. Ain't nobody else out there. Ain't no Black Lives Matter activist going to take a bullet for your ass. All they know how to do is get on their knees and hold their hands up, don't shoot. That's what they know how to do. The Nation of Islam ain't doing none of that stuff. The Nation of Islam is the place that produces men that want to be intelligent and well-educated. The Nation of Islam is a place where they want men to be exposed to the truth. The Nation of Islam is one of the few organizations that always puts the black community first. So you'll never hear me say anything negative about the Nation of Islam as a collective in terms of what I believe that they've done. I think that they've done so much in the community that they should be replicated and syndicated in your own light. So if you're not Muslim, then it's okay. Create an organization with black men that will sort of embody the values of strength and manhood and unity and collective effort that the nation produces. That's an extraordinary organization, and I love the nation. I don't even like to do interviews, but when the Final Call calls me for an interview, I always do it, because you ain't gonna hear me say nothing bad about the nation. You ain't gonna hear me say anything negative about Farrakhan. So I want to make sure that's 100% clear. I ride with Farrakhan till the wheels fall off, and that's the way it's gonna be. So anyway, let me keep going. So I see Teresa from Cleveland, Ohio. Derek from Atlanta. Yolanda says, don't forget Morehouse. Absolutely. Morehouse is a great institution. They got to get rid of the bureaucracy and stop fighting so much. I think all that fighting, but then again, how can I talk? I mean, I had the whole Umar Johnson stuff going on, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe dudes just fight sometimes, but believe me, I'm the first to say that it was immature and damn near embarrassing. And what's really problematic about it is that there are people that literally define the whole conscious community based on what a couple of stupid people do in public, or what a couple of people do or say in public. I'm not calling anybody stupid. I'm not saying any of that, but I am going to say that conscious, to me, every black person should be conscious, because the alternative to being conscious is being unconscious. And when you're unconscious, that's when people victimize you. That's when they, excuse me, an unconscious person can be victimized. They can be robbed. They can be raped. They can be exploited. They can be extorted. They can be killed. So at the end of the day, you should never want to not be part of the conscious community. And it's not defined by, by Umar. It's not defined by Tariq. It's not defined by me. It's not defined by anybody. But I am actually coughing. So hold that thought. Do me a favor. I'm going to grab my glass of water because I'm literally losing my voice. So I need some water here. But do me a favor, and while we're there, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the share button and the like button. And I'm going to go get some water so I can get my voice back. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Woo! That was weird, wasn't it? That was crazy. I was sounding like I was on my last breath. So I'm gonna keep my water glass right here. I'm set up in Chicago. I'm gonna fly to LA tonight, and so I literally have a makeshift setup because I was like, okay, I really want to do my podcast. Now let me jump in here, and before we jump into one of the key conversation points I wanted to hit on, I actually started talking about sort of new cars and why new cars are an investment that you want to kind of reconsider. In fact, it's not really an investment. A new car is not an investment. I mean, never ever use the words invest and new car in the same sentence, unless you say something like, I'm going to make investments in the stock market to make up for the fact that I just lost thousands of dollars by buying a new car. But before we get into that, though, one of the things I want to remind you also is that on every podcast that we do, I'm going to try to go live about 2 o'clock. Sometimes I'll go a little bit earlier, a little bit later. Like today, I started a little bit earlier. But either way, you can come to my personal Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Boyce Watkins. And if you go to facebook.com/Dr. Boyce Watkins, you can just hit the follow button and it'll notify you when I go live. And also you can check in whenever you want to, and you can watch the recording. So anyway, every time I go live, what I'm going to start doing, as I promised, is I'm going to give away $50 worth of Bitcoin to some person who is in the podcast. So that means you have to have a Coinbase account in order for me to do it, because that's the easiest way for me to do it, because I can send it to your email address, because those crypto addresses are super long and I can't memorize that. But I can write down your email address, and I'm going to do that on every single podcast. So I'll do that in a little bit. Also, don't forget as well that we are in our effort, and this is really, again, my apology tour for my participation in all the Umar Johnson nonsense as far as like fighting and all that stuff. I mean, I can't help but to tell the truth in terms of telling you how I feel. But I can actually come back and try to make amends for my participation in the immaturity that might have occurred. And I'm gonna just tell you the truth. I've gotten a little immature in the past. I will get immature again in the future, in which case I might end up apologizing again. But like they used to say in church, please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. So you are talking to a highly imperfect black man, but a black man who's striving to be a better man. So one of the things that I decided to do is we are going to reach out to some of the African-centered schools that are out here. We're going to highlight them, feature them, profile them, put them on the YouTube channel. We've already got the apparatus set up. Cheryl Irvin, a Stanford University graduate who runs an African-centered school in Florida, is compiling a database for us where we are databasing all of these schools so that we can adopt the schools, raise money for the schools, shine a light on the schools, interview the founders, interview the owners. So while I can certainly say I had issues with a school that didn't exist yet, and maybe one day it will exist, I hope that it does, there are plenty of schools that already exist. There are plenty of schools out here that are already educating our kids that can use our support, and I want to support those people, and I hope that you will join us in this effort. So to persuade you or let you know that I'm serious about this, I have committed to writing the first check. At the end of this month, the end of January, we will write a $5,000 check to some African-centered school that's on the database. We're going to pick one school based on the criteria from our committee, and we're going to write the check for that school. But it's not over. Two things will happen. One, we will write more checks. And two, we will feature a lot of the schools. Even if we don't write your check, maybe we can give you some value with added publicity, letting the whole Black community know that you exist. Because going on the podcast, going on my YouTube channel, which has over 250,000 subscribers, people will know that you were there. Your friends will come up and say, "Oh, I saw you on Dr. Boyce's channel." And so the channel's not there for me to just talk about how great Boyce is. In fact, that would be stupid. The channel's there for the whole community. So we can talk about what's going on in the Black community. We can highlight Black people that need to be highlighted, draw attention and energy toward the things that actually matter. And that's pretty much what the channel's objective is. So when you go on my YouTube channel, which if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe at youtube.com/Dr. Boyce Watkins, youtube.com/Dr. Boyce Watkins. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And just be ready, because there's lots of different Black people and Black issues and interviews and everything that we want to appear on the channel, not just me. So anyway, let's see. So the next, so we will write that check, and I'll let you guys know when it's done. Now I see a couple of questions. Let's see. Burton says, "How can I recover my Coinbase account? I lost my private key." I would call Coinbase. They have customer service. You can reach out to them. Also, if you guys want to know anything about our cryptocurrency initiatives in the Black Business School, you can actually go to bitcoin.theblackbusinessschool.com. That's bitcoin.theblackbusinessschool.com. We have this thing that we tested out called Jarvis, which was a team of experts designed to pick cryptocurrencies that are going to take off before they pick them. And they've done a great job so far. I know personally I invest based on what Jarvis recommends, and it's worked out extremely well for me. Like they were picking Ripple back when Ripple was 20 cents. Now Ripple is about, I think, almost $3 now. It went up over 3, and then it dropped down a little bit. You might have seen today also that Bitcoin is up by about 11%. Bitcoin's moving up. The reason it moved up is because I think there was a billionaire, I think Peter Thiel, who runs a fellowship foundation, whatever it is, as well as many businesses. He actually said, he told the world that he holds a lot of Bitcoin. And what happens in investing is that there's a lot of what they call the herding effect, where people will see what the leaders are doing, what the smart people are doing, and they imitate what the smart people are doing, right? So when they heard Peter Thiel owned a lot of Bitcoin, well, people said, "Oh, well, I want to own Bitcoin too." So when everyone said that, what happened was the demand for Bitcoin went up, and people started buying it, which pushed the price up, right? So now Bitcoin is up by about 11 or 12%. But really, the beauty is that there are so many other cryptocurrencies that have done extremely well lately, like Tron and stuff like that. And I really encourage you to kind of take a second to take a peek at that industry. It's worth reading about. It's worth Googling. It's worth, even if you have to pay for good information, I think it's a good deal. I pay for good information, and I pay thousands of dollars for information that the public does not have, because I want to know where the market's moving before it starts moving. So I don't just go get the free stuff. I actually pay premium prices to get good quality information from people that are certified experts. They kind of know what's going on, so they can kind of tell me things that the public doesn't know. If you know anything about stock market investing, one of the things that you would know is that the market moves heavily based on information. Information is basically gold when it comes to investing. Information, that's why the Securities and Exchange Commission will actually put you in jail if you trade based on what they call inside information, or information that the public is not aware of. That's why Martha Stewart went to prison while she's doing, shows with Snoop Dogg now, I guess because now she's like kind of thugged out, so she wants to hang with the Black dudes or whatever. It's because she traded on inside information. So they will lock you up for that. In the crypto space, they don't. In the crypto space, it's a wild, wild west. It's wide open. So one of the first things I thought about was I said, well, I want to talk to people who know what's going on. I want to talk to people who live in this space so they can tell me what the trends are going to be, and or which companies are going to, which crypto is likely to be listed on Coinbase next. Because whatever crypto gets listed on Coinbase next, you're going to see an instant jump of about 30-40% at least in the value of that crypto. Right. And so I just started planting my money in different places. And next thing you know, there was rumors that Ripple would be the next one. And I still think Ripple might be the next one. I really believe that. Recently, Coinbase came out and said, no, that's not true. We're not going to put Ripple on next. And that we haven't made a decision yet. I read the words carefully and I said, okay, so you're saying you ain't made a decision yet, but that don't mean you ain't going to make a decision. Right. You said you don't know yet, but that doesn't mean that you won't know eventually. Because the fact is that Ripple's still a very popular cryptocurrency, and Coinbase ain't stupid. They know how much money they're going to make if they put Ripple on their exchange. Everybody's talking about Ripple. Ripple's like the new Bitcoin, so to speak. It just passed, I think it might have passed Litecoin or Ethereum as one of the leading cryptocurrencies. So it wouldn't surprise me if they put Ripple in there. So when they made the announcement that they hadn't made a decision yet and the price plummeted because of that, I said, oh, well, let me go buy some more Ripple right now. But I was already stacked up on Ripple because the Jarvis people in the Black Business School had already been recommending Ripple like damn near a year ago. Like they were literally recommending Ripple like back in maybe January, February 2017. I don't know exactly how far back it goes, but they literally were talking about Ripple way before everyone else was talking about it. And that's really kind of the key to wealth really in America is, can you find a way to buy low and sell high? Can you find a way to buy something that's going to be valuable before it becomes valuable? If you buy it after it's already valuable, then you may win, you may not. But if you buy it before it becomes valuable, then you win the game. And information is what drives all of that, right? So anyway, if you want to know my investing philosophy, it really ain't all that complicated, really. But the thing is that it requires some degree of understanding of the importance of making investing a fundamental part of your life. When I spend far more money on investments than I will ever spend shopping. I spend far more money on investments than I will ever spend buying a car or buying some clothes or going on a vacation. I spend money like a fool. I spend a lot of money, but I don't spend a lot of my money on stuff that isn't going to give me value back. I just don't. I mean, but the thing is that, I will still enjoy nice things, like a new, if I wanted to buy a new car, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, I like that car. I think I might get that car. I don't need a car right now, so I don't actually own a car. But if I wanted to get a car, I would just get it because I wanted to own it. But you will never see me spend more money on my car than I will spend on my stock portfolio. Ever, never, 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 no, never, no, never, ever. Why? Because that's not a good decision. It's not a sound economic move. It's not a money move. It won't put you in the driver's seat of your life. It's going to put you in the back seat and somebody else will be doing the driving. So let me kind of give you some info and some data and some facts to kind of support this. I like to, every now and then I have to mention that my PhDs in finance so people are reminded that I'm not just a dude who's out here running his mouth. This is backed by research. I've been published in many, many academic journals talking about, investing, money, finance, everything else. And you can go look all that stuff up on the internet. It's not hidden anywhere. But let me show you this chart. It's a very interesting chart that I found online that I thought was really a great, it kind of almost exemplary layout of just how bad of an investment a new car is. Now, I want you to kind of take a look at this. Now, I'm not telling you that a new car is a bad move, period. If you're investing properly and you're putting lots of money into stocks and bonds, crypto, real estate, all that, then sure, go buy your new car. Enjoy it. Go buy a new car with some Jordans with a $500 hair weave to go with it. If that's something you want to do it. Just never spend more money on that crap than you would spend on yourself. That's the key. It's not to say avoid these things. It's just to say, be smart. So check this out. This is from trustedchoice.com. And I need to look down below and see where they got the data, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's look at this. All right. So they said, how much do new cars depreciate in value? Now, this is important for us to know because Black folks love new cars. There are studies that show Black people buy more new cars than anybody else. And so I want you to see. So next time somebody tells you that Black people are poor, I want you to remind them of this. In fact, I want you to bring them to this video. All right. So if you purchase a new car, the average cost of a new car is $31,252. Now, this is from 2013, but it's pretty relevant. As soon as you drive the car off the lot, As soon as you pull that son of a bitch out onto the street, your car has dropped almost $4,000 in value. You literally took $3,500 and flushed it down the toilet the minute you drove the car down the block. That's literally like them saying, thank you, sucker. Here, thank you for the $3,500 you just gave us. And next time you talk about how poor black people are, I want you to understand that for every new car we buy, we're literally giving $3,500 away to white people. Just understand that. Last time I checked, a broke person can't afford to go give away $3,500. So either we're making bad decisions with the money, or maybe we're not as broke as we think. Maybe we'd be less broke if we didn't all write a check of $3,500 as a donation to the white man every time we bought a new car. Let's keep going. 1 year later, your car drops in value from $31,252 to $23,523. Now, do the math. Let's do the math. What's that about? That's about $8,000 or $7,700, so almost $8,000. So now your donation to white America, to white supremacy, is about $8,000. But you looking fly in your new car while you still paying rent or living with your mama. Okay, good for you. All right, let's keep doing it. All right, 3 years later, the value has dropped even further, $16,867. So you've gone from $31,000 that you had in wealth. Now, remind you, if you put that money in crypto, that $31,000 could have probably been about $100,000 by now. In fact, if you put $31,000 in just Bitcoin back in maybe April, that $31,000 would be worth probably about $130,000. So instead of making another $100,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 or whatever you make, most investments don't pay what Bitcoin and crypto have paid. So let's not act like that's the norm. That's not the norm. But it's so let's assume you would have made an extra $20,000 over that 3 years on that investment. That's quite reasonable with the stock market. Stock market's been ballooning, going crazy, setting record highs every month. So instead of that $31,000 going up to say $70,000, $80,000, it's gone down to $16,867. 5 years later, it's down to $11,629. So you went from $31,000 to $11,000. 31,000 to 11,000. So you're telling me, I got all these Negroes on the internet get mad at me, literally get mad at me because I'm trying to talk some sense into us about when it comes to money. Get mad at me. Literally, I'm telling you, like somebody literally said the other day, I think Boyce is an agent. I think he works for the government. He's a plant in the black community. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm planted to teach financial literacy and to get black people to make investments. Oh yeah, absolutely. So sinister. I mean, my God, the evidence is everywhere that I am an agent of white supremacy and black genocidal self-destruction. But literally, you got these folks literally that are getting mad when people are trying to talk sense. And I'm not the only one. You got people like Ryan Mack out here, Ryan McCrary out of Philadelphia, Jay Morrison, other people out here, Lynette Calfani, other people who are really trying to just say to you, like, what are you doing? Like, you're talking about how poor you are. People literally will defend black poverty to the nth degree. In fact, I saw that one of the Negroes who said that I was a government agent, he literally said, it's crazy for Boyce to tell black people that their children can be millionaires because my children are going to be poor. I said, man, I need to find where you live and kick you in your head because I can't stand you right now because for some reason you are defending ignorance. You are defending despair. You are defending poverty. You are defending oppression. You're defending white supremacy in ways that I can't even imagine being creative enough to do. Like, I do not understand how somebody can literally in one breath say that black people are condemned to be poor when I can show you factual data that proves that when we buy new cars, we're giving away $20,000 in the first 5 years, and not just giving away the $20,000 that we gave away, but we're giving away the other $100,000 that we could have had if we'd invested the $30,000 instead of spending it on a new car. Think about this for a minute, black people. You can't call yourself poor when you're making it rain on everybody else. You can't. It doesn't make sense. It's a complete oxymoron unless you connect the two. The only way it becomes consistent is if you connect the two. And you say, well, wait a minute. Maybe the reason that we're poor partly is because we keep giving all of our shit away. My God, that's profound. Let's go deeper into that. We buy a new, and in fact, I can show you another study. Let me pull this up. I found, see, I'm trying to kill the coons with facts. I'm trying to kill the dumb Negroes with facts. Okay. Now I'm not making fun of you. If you didn't know this, you're not a dumb Negro. I'm talking about the people. It's okay if you don't understand something. Most people don't understand financial literacy at this level. Americans are horrifically financially illiterate, just all across the board. So it's okay if you don't know these things, but it's not okay if you are ignorant and you're defending ignorance. Like you know what I mean? Like it's I can forgive a person who doesn't understand something. What I cannot forgive is when the most ignorant person in the room sticks their chest out and tries to become the smartest person in the room. Like you don't know shit, but you will fight to the death to defend the shit that you don't even understand. Like, it's crazy to me. You're arguing with a finance PhD dude. It doesn't mean I know everything. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. Believe me, Lord knows I don't know everything. But my God, I probably know something. Maybe there's something to the fact that I spent 7 to 10 hours a day for a decade studying finance and then taught college students for a total of 25 years. Maybe I learned a little something in that process. I don't know. Again, let me just shut up. All right, because I'm going to make somebody mad. Next thing you know, I'm going to be caught up in one of these nigga beefs again, and I'll be apologizing again. So I'm trying not to start no beefs. But I'm sorry. I don't care. This is just stupid to me. It gets on my nerves. So anyway, let me get in here. Let's look at this. All right. So here's another study. This is on a website called thinknowresearch.com. And what they're saying, they're showing here, and I'm going to show you guys. I should do a screen share so you guys can just see it. Instead, in my Instagram friends, I'm going to just literally be really ghetto and just flip the phone around so you guys can like see it on the screen. Hold on for 1 second. Forgive it. This is due to my technological ignorance that it takes so long for me to pull this out. All right. So let me flip it. All right. So here's another chart. Now check this out. This is from 2017. They asked this question: who plans to purchase or lease a new truck, car, or SUV in 2017? Guess which? You got the yellow line, the gray line, the orange line, and the blue. The blue's the tallest. Guess who the blue people are? Guess who's blue on this chart? Blue is you. Blue is you. You are, so African Americans literally led the nation in the percentage of people who said that within 1 year they are planning to buy a new car or a new truck, or lease a new car or a new truck. So let me tell you what else did they say in this article. Let me read some of this to you, because I want you to kind of just process this. You ain't got to believe me. Just don't believe me. Believe the facts. Just don't believe me. Believe the data. That's what I want you to believe. Don't have faith in Boyce. Boyce is a screwed up individual in certain ways. I want you to have faith in the data. Now let me see here. Let me see if I can find this. I hit a button and I lost my page again. Hold on for a second. This is worth me taking the time to go back. Okay, so check this out. Now I want you to listen to what they're saying in this article. This is white people talking to white people about how they can make money off of black people. Okay, so they said, so as marketers, you must figure out how to get your message in front of African American consumers looking to purchase a vehicle this year. And so they literally go down and they literally show the methods that you can use to get black people to give you their money. Now, mind you, this is we're a community that walks around talking about how poor we are, how broke we are. If we're so poor and we're so broke, why would they be trying to get money out of a broke community? Like, if you ain't got no money, then why would they be coming to you to get money from you? Do you go and try to get money from people that have no money? Or when you need to borrow money, do you call your brokest relatives who have the greatest financial problems? Or do you call that rich ass uncle who's balling out of control? Do you call the relatives who make smart financial decisions where they're going to really scrutinize you and really ask you a million questions about what you plan to do with the money? Or do you call the stupid relative who likes to just generously make it rain and doesn't think about where they put their money? Right? I mean, there's nothing better than that wealthy relative who likes to give money away, right? So for us, we are that wealthy relative who likes to give money away and doesn't think about the long-term implications of what happens when you give your money away. So I kind of want you to kind of think that through a little bit. I kind of want you to consider what I'm saying here. I'm not sort of attacking anybody who wants to own a new car. I'm not saying that at all. If you want a new car, go get one. Seriously, if you want a new car, please go get one. But just like they say with food, you don't eat your dessert until you've had your vegetables, right? So don't go get the chocolate cake before you've eaten the healthy food. Eat your chicken first, eat your green beans first, and your salad, whatever, make sure you're healthy. And then when you go eat chocolate cake, don't fill your stomach up with chocolate cake. Just eat one big slice. That's all you need. That's all you need to hit what economists call the point of satiation. Satiation means you've had enough. You don't need more. Don't feel like you've got to go above and beyond. That's why I find it very strange. I have a hard time understanding those celebrities who will have like 10 cars in their garage. I'm like, why do you have 10 cars? What do you need 10 cars for? Why not have 2 cars, maybe 3? And then show me that you bought 10 houses. Show me that you own 20 businesses. Show me that you have funded 20 African-centered schools all around the world. Like, show me some things that you're doing that's making some sort of investment. Don't show me flashy shit, because flashy shit, it means nothing. It means nothing. It means that it basically kind of makes you look dumb, honestly. If you have a lot of flashy stuff and you can't really sort of balance that by being flashy with how much investing that you've done. Like, you can show me that you have $100,000 worth of cars, but you can't show me that you have a couple $100,000 worth of stocks and bonds and crypto. Then that kind of makes me wonder, like, okay, you're not a financially intelligent person. And basically with money, a fool and his money always part ways. Dumb people usually give money away to smart people. Short-term thinkers give their money away to long-term thinkers. In fact, Warren Buffett, actually one of the great investors of all time, literally said that, I think he said, financial education is a wealth transfer from the unintelligent to the intelligent, from the short-sighted people to the people that have a long-term vision. And as I was telling you guys the other day, if you're really trying to build a black family empire, if you don't have a vision for your family that's at least 50 years, you need to step your vision game up. Step it up. Because 50 years will be over before you know it. 50 years ago ain't nothing but 1967. That really ain't that long ago. Some of y'all got relatives that were born way before 1967. So get a 50-year plan for your family. And I showed you guys in the last podcast, which I hope that you were watching, how mathematically, just by making tiny investments on a consistent basis in the stock market, not even in crypto and all that. Crypto has been a big come up for a lot of people. I know people that become millionaires off crypto. But even if you don't mess with all of that, because crypto is still unstable. There's a lot of questions there. But if you go with the tried and true stocks, bonds, real estate, entrepreneurship, then consistent investments can literally make your family into millionaires in 50 years. This is not rocket science. It's not snake oil. It's not rolling the dice and hoping you get lucky. It's building wealth through consistent, steady effort. Most people don't become rich quickly. They become rich slowly. They become rich. They build their family empire one brick at a time. And people who fight against that, people who somehow conclude that because you're black, you're supposed to be poor. Those are sick people. Those people are mentally ill because they literally have been so hit hard by white supremacy that they literally don't believe that there's anything black people can ever do to overcome our condition. And I'm going to tell you what, I hear people talking about politics and whether, we spend their time talking about Trump did this and Obama did that and all of that. I don't really care about that because there has never been a black community that has been made wealthy by the Democratic or the Republican parties. That has not been true anywhere in the past. It will not be true anywhere in the future. There has never been a black community that has ever been made wealthy by the Democratic or the Republican Party. So I encourage you to get away from that and start thinking about you and yours. Think about your family. Don't even think about me. Just take what you can get from me and then go sit with your family and you be the king, you be the queen, and you come up with a plan so you can move forward. Now, by the way, I realized that I forgot to give you the email address that you can email to get on our database. If you run an African Center School or you know somebody who does, feel free to send an email. If you want to, sort of apply to get the $5,000 donation, scholarship, grant, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to write. I'm going to write it in the name of my beloved late grandmother, Felicia T. Couch. You can actually email teachourownchildren@gmail.com. That's teachourownchildren@gmail.com. So that's TOOC, Tookie, like Tookie Williams. Teachourownchildren@gmail.com. Cheryl Irvin will receive the email. She's going to put you in the database. Only one school will get the first, check that we write. We wish you could write a check to every school, but we can't. But what we can do is we can actually give you more value than that by actually featuring you on our platform. And hopefully that will inspire everyone in the community to make donations, enroll their children. If we support these schools will become strong. That's how you build strong institutions. That's how Harvard University has all of its strength, because they have a community supporting them. It's not a couple of rich individuals. That's why American universities across the board are strong. They have multi-billion-dollar endowments because they have entire communities that have their back. So I want you to sort of think of yourselves in the same way. You're not victims. You're not passive people that are sort of pushed around from situation to situation based on forces you cannot control. You are rocks. You are an institution that is capable of developing institutions within that institution. The first institution is all of us. And then within that institution, we develop other institutions, corporations, we develop organizations, we develop universities. We can do all of that on our own. We don't need anybody's help. The other thing I want to mention to you guys is if you want to join one of our institutions, which is the Black Wealth Bootcamp. The new year just started, so some of you have New Year's resolutions when it comes to building wealth, etc. We hope you'll give us a try or take a look. Feel free to go to theblackwealthbootcamp.com. That's theblackwealthbootcamp.com. Somebody please type that in so other people can see it. Don't forget the THE, theblackwealthbootcamp.com. If you want to get the first 30 days for free, you can use the code BlackWealth101. That's one word, not two words. Black Wealth 101. So type in Black Wealth 101 as your code, and you'll get the first 30 days totally free. So that way there's no risk to you whatsoever. You can try it out. If you don't like it, you can go. But I know you're going to love it because everybody else who goes through it loves the program. They grow and they elevate from being a part of what we're doing. So anyway, let me jump back in. I had a couple other things I wanted to kind of address here. I wanted to kind of also look into, given that we talked about new cars, so I hope that we're in agreement that a new car is not the best use of your money. Now, a new car is what you do with your last dollar. It's not what you do with your first dollar, right? So let's say somebody comes up and they write you a check for 25 G's. And, you can tell a lot about a person and what their financial future is going to be by what they would do with that 25,000. Now, I can tell you, I know a lot of people where if I wrote them a check for 25,000, that money would be, they'd be rolling in something shiny in about 2 days. They would literally go straight to the car dealer and they would drop every penny that they could on the nicest car that they could possibly afford. And why is that? Well, a lot of it's cultural. It comes from the fact that many of us grew up in households where that was kind of a sign of status. You showed you were doing well by what you were driving. You showed you were doing well by what you were wearing. You'll see an accomplished young woman like Simone Biles on TV, kicking ass, taking names, establishing a multi-million-dollar legacy for her family. And then you'll see people online who are attacking her because her hair wasn't done right. Right? Like, it's not to say that those things don't matter. It's to say that that shouldn't be the first thing that you're thinking about. So I'm not saying that you should take everything off the table. I'm saying just don't make it the first thing on the table and don't make it the only thing on the table. So think about your hair after you build a wealth for your family. Think about getting the Jordans after you have bought shares of stock. Think about getting the red bottoms after you have went out and bought yourself some real estate. Think about getting the new Benz after you have put money, twice as much money into your business. Because I can tell you what, if you build a strong business and your investment game is up and your vision game is up and you're positioning yourself to be strong and wealthy, then you can buy you a lot of Benzes. I know people that are successful entrepreneurs who can literally go to the car lot right now and buy a $70,000 Mercedes and not even break a sweat. Like, literally not even have to like pinch pennies anymore, for a while to catch up. They don't have to catch up because they've got cash reserves that have come from consistently investing over time. So I'm not trying to tell you that I'm a dog you if you drive up in a nice Benz. I'm just trying to say to you that can't be the first thing that you do. So let me talk about some money moves that are listed. By the way, if you're on Instagram, you're about to disappear for a second because the Instagram is about to run out of time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this Instagram and I'm gonna start it back up. So just stay right here and you can come right back in and you can catch the next part of the conversation. The rest of you, do me a favor. Please hit the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button on the feed so that you can subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you follow my Facebook page, facebook.com/Dr. Boyce Watkins. That's facebook.com/Dr. Boyce Watkins. And that way you'll get a notification whenever I go live. You'll also get a chance to check out the podcast. If you can't make it when we do the podcast, I'm going to try to do it around 2 Eastern. But if you can't make it, that's okay. You just come to the page and the recording will be there. I personally think I have one of the coolest Facebook pages ever, because not only is it interesting, because I do sometimes say things that are probably a little surprising to people, but so just be ready to be offended every now and then. If you're okay with being offended every now and then just offend me back, right? If I say something you don't like, then just do what Tiffany Ram did. Tiffany Ram was like, I'm very disappointed that you would say this, Dr. Watkins. And I was like, yeah, well, I don't agree with you. So blah, blah, blah. So let's still be friends, right? So me and Tiffany Ram are still friends, but we didn't agree, right? So it's okay to be offended. Because I think open dialogue is important for the community. I think that we should have an understanding that it's okay to disagree. It's okay to debate. It's okay to even, be a little vehement in your position. Just be open to new ideas. Just listen to each other. I think that's what's really important. So if you come to my Facebook page, I personally will guarantee you that each day you will learn something new. I make it a point to make sure that while I'm in a public platform and I'm in the public eye, which hopefully I guess will be for a while. I don't know how long this kind of thing lasts, but I try to make sure that you have evolved as a result of interacting with me. I'm not just here to make you laugh, because unfortunately it kind of concerns me. I see a lot of celebrities that only want to, throw out jokes. They want to do stupid, immature things like the dick challenge. Y'all remember that when everybody was talking about how much they love penis, which I think is kind of weird. Like, that would mortify me if I ever saw my mother do a video like that. Like, okay, mama, I know you have sex, but because I'm here, but my God, do you have to really lay it all out there like that? If that was my daddy on Instagram doing the pee challenge or whatever, then I would probably be kind of concerned. I'd be like, well, maybe daddy, maybe that's why you couldn't pay the child support, because you spend all your time thinking about all the wonderful things you would do to somebody's vagina when you meet them. And that probably means, number one, that you're going to have some other problems that come along with getting in bed with any pretty girl that comes along, because, you trust a big butt and a smile. Some of those big butts and some of those smiles hide very sinister motives. We all know this, but at the same time, it just kind of makes me wonder, like, a man who's chasing women all the time is going to have a hard time spending time doing anything productive in his life. You can't really build your business if you're spending hours a day on the phone managing multiple girlfriends. So really, I would almost say to you, just as a personal life investment strategy in terms of what you do, how you invest your time, how you invest your youth, how you invest your life, just understand that there is something to be said, when those people say that, having a good woman by your side kind of makes you more productive, because you're not spending your time chasing women. Now, I'm not critiquing anybody's, style, anybody's sexuality, anybody's choices. I'm just trying to say to you that some of the stuff that we spend a lot of time on it's a waste of time. It's not going to get you ahead. It's a bad investment. The same way you can waste money, when you buy a new car and you lose, what was it, 30, 40, I think it was, I think with the new car, you lose 66% of the value within 5 years. So instead of your money going up, which it would have gone up if you had made an investment, your money actually goes down. So you're not just losing what you gave away, you're losing what you could have had. So literally a new car purchase for $31,000 probably cost you, it doesn't just cost you the $20,000 that you lost. It doesn't just cost you the $30,000 that you spent. It probably cost you about $70,000, because you have to consider not just the actual cost, but what economists refer to as the shadow cost. The shadow cost is all the money that you could have made if you had made a better money move, right? It's like a basketball team. Like if you replace the worst player on the team with a superstar, then you're not just sort of losing you're not just sort of losing the mistakes that this other player made. You're gaining the great potential that the new player brings to the table, right? So it's like a double whammy move, right? You're getting rid of something bad and you're gaining something good, right? Well, the same thing is true with investing, right? So if you go spend money on a car, you're losing something good, and then you're losing even more because you're making a bad investment, right? It's like driving 100 miles in the wrong direction. Right. So ultimately, when you see somebody buy a new car, I want you to kind of process that and just kind of know how expensive it is. And then ask yourself, is there anything better I could have did with this money? Is there any other move I could have made before I made this move? What I do is sometimes I waste money on stupid things. Like sometimes I'll go and I'll spend money on like a first class plane ticket. And why do I do that? Well, because sometimes I just want to be comfortable on the flight. I don't really want sometimes to be cramped up and whatever. And so the way I justify it to myself is I say, okay, boys, you've done everything you're supposed to do. You put most of your money into your business. You put most of your money into your investments. You've done everything right. You have a little extra cash. You deserve to be comfortable. And that's literally how I justify it. So I think it's okay, once again, to spend on things you enjoy. I think it's okay to go on a nice vacation, or whatever. I mean, spending money on an experience is actually what they say is a pretty good investment from a personal standpoint, right? But at the same time, I think when you have people where the first thing they do if they get that check is go buy a new car, that's a huge problem. I had a relative like that, and literally, again, didn't have much financial literacy, kind of thought he was a thug or whatever, kind of wanted to just get into stuff or whatever. And I remember that he got a check. He had a lot of money. His daddy died, and he got a check for like $100,000 or more. He got literally like over $100,000, and because he was over 18, they gave all the money to him. He could go into the account, take it out whenever he wanted, whatever. And literally, all that money was gone in about 3 months. All that money disappeared in 3 months. He would go to the bank and he would get like $1,000 out at a time. He would buy all kinds of stuff for his friends. He bought, a couple of new cars. He was paying people's rent. Next thing you know, in 3-4 months, that money was gone. And so that to me is an example of how deadly a lack of financial intelligence can be. That's one of the reasons why I think that if you care about your children, one of the first things that you have them learn educationally, before they learn biology, before they learn, before they go read Edgar Allan Poe, before they start learning all this extra crap that they got you learning in school, have them learn the basics of economic intelligence. Have them just learn the basics of being an investor. Like, okay, if you put your money into something that goes up in value, then you're more likely to be wealthy than if you put your money into something that goes down in value. Teach them if you learn how to start a business, then you'll never be unemployed. So the whole statistic on Black unemployment does not apply to you anymore. Right? Everybody talks about, well, no matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you got, you can always be reduced to nigger status. You still ain't nothing but a nigger. If you get a doctorate, you'll be Dr. Nigger, and they'll put you back in your place. And that's true. Everybody, says that, and that's true to a point. It's true for Black professionals because Black professionals are dependent upon the white supremacist economic system to pay their bills. But Black entrepreneurs actually have an out. Black entrepreneurs are not so much built on trying to become a part of a system. Good Black entrepreneurs are actually built on the ability to develop a system or to move to an alternative system if the system that you're in isn't giving you the opportunity you deserve. Like Lorelia Brown Phillips, who's a really great credit coach, she made this excellent point on social media, and I loved it. She said, isn't it funny that you have to have a degree, a college degree, to go work for a business owner, but you don't need a college degree to own the business. So to be a business owner, you don't need no degrees, nobody's degrees. All you need to know how to do is sell a product. But to go work for a business owner, you got to go have that piece of paper. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? And what that really says to me is that people who own businesses, they kind of get to make their own rules. People who own nothing have to follow the rules of other people. Let me say that again. People who own businesses make the rules. People who work for businesses are the ones who follow the rules. I will say this. I'm the CEO of Boyce Watkins Enterprises. When we have a meeting at 10 o'clock and I say, I want everybody to be on time for the meeting, make sure you're on time. My manager, Michelle, my chief of staff, is the one who kind of does it. She's the enforcer. So she'll say, everybody be there at 9 o'clock or whatever. The meeting starts at 9, everybody get there at 8:58. Well, when I get there, the meeting doesn't start till I arrive because I'm the CEO. So if I roll up at 10:04, then we start at 10:04. So what I'm saying is that, and if you want to know, I mean, I'm gonna be just really, this is like a confession. That power is kind of intoxicating. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to go from a world where you are taught that as a Black man you have no power to being in a situation where you're like, I get to do whatever I want. This is awesome. And so I want your children to know that same power. I want your children to know that same freedom. Once you get the power that comes with freedom, you can't go back to slavery. You can't. When my brother chose to become an entrepreneur as opposed to, taking the good job that was offered to him. I think he got an offer at Ford to make $50,000 a year, something like that. And I mean, my brother's been in situations where he's made that much money in 2 or 3 weeks. Now, but one of the funny things is that my brother said when he came to come and work with me, I remember our family was very concerned. They were very worried. They thought it was too risky. A lot of your families will do the same thing to you. It happens because Black folks are scared for good reason. There's things to be scared of. And and literally, I remember he came and he worked with me, and we didn't even know if our business was going to work out, but we decided to give it a try anyway. And I asked him, I said, well, he told me he was going to go back to get an MBA at Cornell as a sort of a promise to my mother, because my mother wanted us to all have master's degrees and everything. And so he agreed to go back to Cornell. And I said, well, Cornell graduates, you know, they're getting these great jobs, making a lot of money. I said, do you want to go get a job? And he said, I can't go get a job. He said, after I've known what it's like to run my own business, I can't go back to working for somebody else. And so what happens is that when you get the power that comes with freedom, you literally become what I call unfit for slavery. Like, you can't do it anymore. Like, you're like, well, my God, like, now that I know that I can live this way, why would I ever want to live that way? You know, so I just kind of want you to prepare your children. And here's what happens. Here's the thing. The people that have the most access to freedom tend to be the people who are just best trained, who are best prepared. That's why I love my daddy to death. I'm going to tell you the honest God truth. If my daddy was parenting a child in 2017, they would probably call it Child Protective Services on his ass about once a month. I ain't gonna lie. My daddy was not politically correct. My daddy was rough on me at times and all of that. And I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have done things better if they'd been a little bit more mature at the time. But I'm gonna tell you, the best thing about growing up in a tough environment where I was exposed to a lot of things at an early age and pushed into independence at an early age is that translated into adulthood and prepared me to compete. Because what I have learned is that the people who are the best trained for warfare are typically the ones who win the war. And the world is built on warfare and competition. So with your children, if you have a baby, anybody in here, if you got like a little child under the age of 10, raise your hand, say something. Just say, I got, my child's 12, my child's 9, my child's 4, whatever. Tell me about it. Because here's the thing. If you have a child that's young, go ahead and get them ready to compete. Just have them do something on a regular basis that involves understanding money, wealth, entrepreneurship, and investing. And what's going to happen is that the cream will rise to the top. Because they have the most skill, they're going to know where the money's at. They're going to know where the good investments are. They're going to know how to get ahead of the curve. They're going to know how to seek out knowledge and information. They won't be like the kids that have the latest cell phone, but never use that phone to get information. Instead, they use that phone to watch videos or to watch WorldStar or to gossip with their friends or to get into Twitter beefs, right? If your child is the one who says, I want to use my phone to do research so I can learn what to invest in next. I want to learn research so that I can know how to develop a stronger company so I can make more money because I have a better engine now. It's like driving a car, right? Your company is built on a system. A system is similar to a system that makes a car move. So imagine if you're in a race, right? Racism. We're all in a race. So you're in a race and you all have a car, right? And you have parents that trained you on how to build a car with the best engine, the best system imaginable, the fastest motor, the strongest everything, the best tires, the best everything. And then the other poor kid was never trained on how to build a system. The other kid was never given access to a system. And so that kid is walking. And your child is trained on how to build the best economic system they could possibly build. So they're driving their economic car. The other kid is walking. Who is going to win the race? Who's going to win the race? It's going to be the kid whose parents prepared them by giving them the best car with the best system and the best engines, right? So businesses are run on systems. The reason Jeff Bezos now makes more money in a month than LeBron James or Beyonce will make in their whole entire life is because Jeff Bezos built this company called Amazon.com, which is a really beautiful system. Mark Zuckerberg is as wealthy as can be. I think he's worth about 50, 70 billion dollars or something crazy like that. He makes about 10, 20 million dollars a day. And he's not that old. He's probably 32 years old now. It's because he understood early how to build a system. So his car goes faster than everyone else's car. So train your children, put them in situations where somebody will teach them how to have a system to build wealth instead of just making money from labor. Making money from labor is about the slowest, most dastardly, most draining, most incarcerational system that you can ever possibly have. If all you know how to do is make your money by showing up to work every day and working until you get tired, then your chances of being wealthy are slim to none. And understand this, black people. We live in a capitalist society, and capitalism does not give a damn about anybody. Capitalism is a bitch. Capitalism must have poor people. Capitalism must have a victim. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say I want the victims to exist. I'm not advocating any of it. This is not a pro-capitalism statement. This is a pro-reality statement. This is me basically doing what my daddy did with me. My daddy's like, I can't make the world what you want it to be. I can only tell you how the world is. So capitalism is a system where there will always be a winner and there will always be a loser. Capitalism is not a system where everybody gets a first place trophy. That would be socialism or communism, theoretically, which in the real world does not work. In the real world, most socialist economies are. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'll see you soon. Thank you for telling me. All right. Most socialist systems are like where Venezuela is right now economically, the economically dead. Venezuela, you can't even go buy a loaf of bread. You can have a pocket full of money, and that pocket full of money won't even buy you a loaf of bread because their currency has no value. I'm not trying to say that I don't think that there are some merits to socialism, though. Actually, too much capitalism is also bad for an economy. Let's just be clear about that. But that's kind of what you live in. You live in a competitive world, so why wouldn't you raise competitive children? Raise them to be competitive and get them off of this nonsense like, oh, yeah, we're going to have diversity and inclusion. Black folks should be included in these systems and treated fairly. I don't think that happens. I think that at the end of the day, it's all a competition. So anyway, I'm gonna hang up because it's time for me to eat and my food's getting cold. But let me just say that, if you didn't agree with what I said, it's okay to disagree. Don't feel bad if you want a new car. Once again, I want to remind you, it's okay to go get the new car, go get the Jordan, go get the red bottoms, go get the hair weave, go on vacation, buy the first class plane ticket, whatever you want to do. Just do that after you handle your business. That's it. That's the difference between a grown up and a child. A child will spend their first dollar on nonsense. A grown up will spend their last dollar on nonsense. That's all it is. But everybody likes the nonsense. Everybody likes, ain't nothing wrong with your red bottoms. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'll probably commend you because those are nice looking shoes or whatever. But then at the same time, I'll be more impressed when you tell me about what you've invested in and what you own so that you can have a consistent income stream that allows you to buy as many pairs of red bottoms as you want. And don't validate yourself with that stupid stuff. I mean, validate yourself, like for the men in here, validate yourself based on what you own, not on how cool your car looks or how nice your clothes look and all that. That, sure, you might want to dress the part after you become successful, but we got too many people out here doing that whole fake it till you make it nonsense. I'm like, well, you've been faking it for 20 years, but you ain't never made it. Why don't you go make it and then go fake it? Like, fake it after you make it. Like, don't just fake it till you make it. Like, stop trying to impress me as somebody who's accomplished a lot when you ain't accomplished nothing. Sit down and soul search and ask yourself, why am I doing a whole lot of talking and not a lot of doing? Why am I doing a whole lot of pretending and I don't have a whole lot of proof? Why am I acting like I'm a successful person when I can't provide any facts or evidence to show that I'm truly successful as I claim to be? Most truly successful, truly great people are very, very laid back, humble. Most of them don't floss and stunt and all that stuff. Most billionaires don't dress like they billionaires. Most millionaires don't want you to know they got money. Big money, real money is quiet money. Loud money is a person who's an inch away from being broke, but they trying to pretend like they got money so other people will give them money. That's what that is. So don't be loud. Be quiet with your shit. And the quiet power, to me, is the real power, because at that point, you ain't got nothing to prove. You ain't got nothing to prove. Like I tell the young intern I have, I say, you know what? I need you, when you come to meetings, I need you to dress like you're trying to be a boss. When you come to my meetings, I need you to wear a suit and tie. I need you to dress up like you are the boss. I said, the only person who ain't got to dress like the boss is the boss. So he came to a meeting. I was sitting down with Kevin Cosby, who's a president of Simmons College. And we were in this room. Everybody was dressed professionally, wearing suit and ties and everything. Only people that weren't dressed professionally were me and him. He was wearing a sweatsuit. I was wearing some jeans and a t-shirt. The reason is because we ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. We know Kevin owns millions of dollars in real estate. We know he's the most powerful mega pastor in the state. We know that he's the president of the university. People know what I've done. I've proven that, right? So young people, make sure that you present yourself with your best foot forward. But at the same time, never spend more time faking it than you spend making it. Like, you got to make it. Like, you got too many pretenders out here. I swear, it drives me crazy. And I see this a lot with the brothers. It makes me mad that black men are the ones I see this more from. The women, I honestly don't think it's as much in a woman's nature to brag and sort of be as loud and flamboyant about this stuff as men. I'm not saying women don't have their own flaws, but with men, I see, because I think there's a pressure to kind of show that you are a baller or whatever. Like, but when I see people making it rain in the club, I don't usually see women bragging about making it rain in the club or buying bottles for everybody, right? But my thing is, like, if you're gonna do all of that, like do that again after you've made it. Like, spend more time making it than you spend faking it, because it bothers me when I hear about somebody who gets scammed because some brother done told them to invest all this time and energy and money into some business that he never got off the ground, or he made a promise and never kept his commitments. Black man, if you want to be a real man, keep your promises to people, man. If you promise somebody you're going to do something, like, do it, man. Like, and if you can't do it, at least apologize and explain what happened and explain how you're going to do it better next time. That's what it means to be a man. When you tell your daughter you're going to go pick her up, show the hell up. Show up and pick your daughter up. Don't just not show up. That breaks children's hearts, man. And men need to be told things like this, So anyway, I'm going to go. It's time to eat breakfast. Let me remind you guys, if you live in LA, I'll be at UCLA tomorrow. Common and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will be there. If you want to learn more, go to drboycelosangeles.com. That's drboycelosangeles.com. I've heard that the event right now is officially sold out. However, I heard the organizers are trying to get a bigger room. Common is Common. A lot of people want to see him. I don't know how many people want to see me, but if you're there to see me, I'll be signing books afterward, and I love my clique as well. Also, if you want to be considered for the $5,000 grant scholarship that we're going to give out to an African Center school at the end of the month, or you want to be featured, you want your school to be featured on my YouTube channel, please email Cheryl Irvin. The email address is teachourownchildren@gmail.com. That's teachourownchildren@gmail.com. Also, can't forget the $50 Bitcoin giveaway. I promise you guys I give away $50 worth of crypto. If you have a Coinbase account, give me the email address to your Coinbase account right now, and I will randomly pick somebody, and I will give away $50 worth of crypto. I will email you the money right now. Let me go grab a pen so I can write down the email address. And while I do that, put your email in, and literally I'm going to randomly pick an email, and I will send you $50 worth of crypto today, I promise. So go ahead and get started. Hold on, guys. I got to find me an ink pen. Okay, I got my pen now. All right. Okay, let's see here. Okay, the winner today will be Miss Angela Green. Her email address is angela@agreenlaw.com. That's Angela@agreenlaw.com. So it looks like she's a lawyer. Are you a lawyer, Angela? I don't know. Let me know if you're a lawyer, because I think that's kind of cool. All you black lawyers, like, we really need y'all's help, because the community, lawyers are one of the most important groups of people in the country in terms of people that can actually make a difference. Angela says, yes, she's a lawyer. Okay, very nice. Well, congratulations, Angela. You are the winner of the $50 Bitcoin giveaway. I will email you your $50 worth of Bitcoin right after I get done, because if I don't do it right away, I might forget, and I don't want to forget. I don't want to tell you I'm going to do something and not do it. Last but not least, those of you who want to maybe enroll your kids into one of our programs for children, feel free to go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. We have great programs for children, and we're actually developing a certification system for children, so your children can be certified on wealth at an early age. One of the things we believe is that every black child should have a college professor by the age of 10. And I never saw a black college professor until I was 20 years old. And I think that seeing that earlier would have made a difference in my life. We teach your children college level concepts. These are things that most adults don't know, actually. So feel free to go check it out at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com, and also in the blackbusinessschool.com, We have a real estate program for children as well. We have one for adults taught by Dr. Venetia Dutra, who's one of the few Black female finance PhDs on the planet. She's an absolute badass when it comes to real estate. So you can go to theblackbusinessschool.com. If you want to sign up for the free membership, you can at theblackbusinessschool.com. And we have the real estate program for children. Also, blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. We have the program for kids. And we're going to expand on that. That's one of the goals. In our live event centers, we're going to make Saturdays Kids Day. And that's when the kids are going to come in. We're going to teach the kids. So everybody's saying congratulations to Angela. Well, I want to say congratulations to Angela also. And I'm telling you what, it feels really good to give things away. I'm going to tell you what inspired me to do some of that. I saw where T.I., the rapper, who I really respect T.I. for what he's doing for the community. I love how every year he goes into Target and, he goes and he buys up the store and buys everybody a bunch of stuff. And I said, I think all of us should be challenged to do things like that. Maybe next Christmas I'll do something like that. Also, not just for no reason other than to just kind of show at the same time, when I talk about investing, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy your money. It doesn't mean you can't go shop at Target and buy toys. It doesn't mean you can't do any of those things. I just want you to make sure that you put yourself in a position where you can do those things for life, where you can go shopping for your family at the mall and it won't really set you back because you're not using your investment capital to do it. You're using your excess capital to do it, your extra money to do that, right? So who knows? Maybe next year I'll copy off T.I. and I'll run up in a store and in the hood somewhere and just bring a bunch of people with me and just buy a whole bunch of stuff for them, because I think I don't really, honestly, it's kind of strange. I talk a lot about money, but I don't really care much about money. Money to me is only a pathway to freedom. It helps me escape white supremacy and the oppression I felt when I used to have a job. Also, money is a pathway for power in terms of us being able to develop the institutions necessary to sustain and to develop our community, to build Black folks into what we are meant to be, to build our own systems, et cetera, educate our own children, all of that. So I love giving things away. It's actually kind of nice. So this is actually kind of fun. So anyway, I'm about to get out of here, guys. Have a great day. And once again, drboycelosangeles.com if you want to come see us in LA at UCLA, and you can go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com if you're interested in our kids program. So you guys have an awesome day. It was real. I always enjoy hanging out with you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. This is more fun than I've ever had in my life, and I'm going to go eat. So I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.